So, when I was a kid, I had been a huge fan of the Dragon Ball franchise, specifically Z, since that was the first anime show I ever saw, or at least as much as I can remember. I didn't see the original Dragon Ball series until a little bit in the middle of Z, and by then I was already watching Z, so I didn't really have much interest in watching the original series since I was already invested in these characters. I love these characters, even though there were some things that didn't get explained that got explained in the first series. So I had to rewatch. So I had to watch that, and then I looked back. Then I finished already had finished Dragon Ball Z afterwards. So I had watched both series, and I had clamored to see another Dragon Ball Z series, and since I was a kid, I didn't know a lot of things. Like I didn't know the anime stuff was already done decades prior after I was born, about a decade or so prior before I was born. So I was excited when I heard that there was a third series coming out called Dragon Ball GT. And I remember being this kid being excited, like, oh my god, a new Dragon Ball series! Like, Z was awesome, the original series was awesome. Oh my god, Lightning has to strike a third time, hopefully. And here's the thing, I'm not gonna say if it was bad or anything yet, but but after the series was over, and years had gone by since I stopped watching the Dragon Ball franchise, I had no memory of what happened with GT. I couldn't recall much of my experience with GT. So it was entirely forgettable for me. I could remember Dragon Ball Z and bits and pieces of Dragon Ball, but I couldn't remember GT as much. And and then when I was watching Masako X, those memories started coming back, and I remember, yeah, what Masako X said, yeah, this show had a lot of great ideas, had a lot of potential, but considering how it was, especially the voice acting on some characters like Pan, yeah, that really should have been looked over by Toriyama. Now, a lot of people might ask, like, I didn't know why. I had found out that Toriyama had no say whatsoever in this series, had no involvement in it, except for a few concept designs and character designs. And that's pretty much it. I try to wonder what happened. Like, why didn't he work on this series? Like, there was no manga of it. This was an anime exclusive series, so I always wondered what happened to it. Well, I had found out through Masako. Well, Masako X. This is just a guess. This is probably the best theory that Toriyama, as Masako X explained after Cell, was extremely burnt out. And then when the Buu Saga, when people wanted more, and the Buu Saga happened, he just said, "Okay, I'm gonna either not do it, or you give me free reign to do whatever I want." And we all know how the Buu Saga turned out. It's mixed bag for many people. I personally like the Buu Saga, though that could be because I was a kid and I'm rewatching the Dragon Ball series from start, so it could be a while. But anyways, Dragon Ball GT. There were some things I remembered that really confused me when I look back on it now. Like, wait, what? So like, but wait, let me get back to Toriyama. Sorry. He was burnt out. He didn't. He wanted to stop, and I can understand why. Like when I first heard that Toriyama had no say in this, I was pissed off. Like, dude, why weren't you there? You should have had oversight over the series. And now when I look at it, now that I'm much older, and I look back on things, including reading articles and whatnot, thanks to the power of the internet, I can say, okay, yeah, I understand. Like, you were burnt out, you were tired of it, you just wanted to stop, you wanted out, and I can completely understand why. Especially with micromanagement. Like, look at WWE's micromanagement system. I'm pretty sure that would drive anybody insane by now. So, yeah, the basis of the story begin with the Black Dragon Balls, or the Black Star Dragon Balls. I'm like, okay, that was interesting, but since this series never made reference to that in Z, they have to come up with some explanation as to why, and why no one talked about it. Like, I still have that mentality. Like if GT was always known to Toriyama prior to this, he would have incorporated some elements of GT into what would become a GT into the manga, and then therefore be translated into the anime, or at least get filler anime episodes in order to explain everything. So I was always curious as to know, wait, why didn't King Kai know about these? Wait, why didn't Dende know about these? Wait, why did Mr. Popo not talk about this? Like, why did these characters not talk about it? Like, King Kai, he's a blubbering idiot at times, so he could have forgotten. Dende and Mr. Popo, they would have to come up with something creative on that, or they locked it, or Kami hid him somewhere and locked him away. But the other thing was, like, why was the Pilaf gang, how did the Pilaf gang get up to the Kami's lookout without being detected? Wait, how did they get up there in the first place? Wait, how do they even know where that place is? Wait a second. How do they know about that place? Because no character ever talked about Kami's lookout in public, as far as I remember. So, what happened? Like, they never explained that. And I was always curious as to know what happened. So, there was a fatal flaw with the show, in my opinion. The one fatal flaw, because I'm not going to say, oh, they didn't care about the show, oh, the animators didn't care, the story designers didn't care. I believe they did care, they just weren't really that talented. They didn't have they were just so under orders to say, you gotta make it like the original Dragon Ball. Make it child friendly. We had Z. We need to go back to our roots and whatnot. Even though no one complained about what the formula was. Like, everyone loved when the changes happened. So like, why couldn't you do Z and Dragon Ball? Like, mix them together? Like, you had Z, like, there were a lot of comedy moments and a lot of serious moments. Why couldn't you do that? And it looked like they were doing that through the halfway mark, but they still kind of over-relied on the humor to try and sell it. So, so the part where Goku gets turned back into a kid because of the Black Star Dragon Balls, that's like, yeah, you should have not done that. Like, you could have killed Goku, since the power of the Black Star Dragon Balls can do that, from what I recall. Like, they could kill people, they could do virtually anything possible beyond your wildest dreams. And honestly, I'm trying to figure out, why didn't Pilaf just try and wish him dead? Like, again, his bubbling state, since, he remembers him as a much of a kid than he did as an adult, then yeah, I could understand that to an extent, but, like, still, it feels a little weird that he just wished him back as a kid, because Pilaf knows what Kid Goku did to him, so why would he want that again? Especially when the tail came back, and they really, really screwed up big time, because he could summon the mighty Uzu. I'm trying to remember his name, the giant ape. I'll just go with that. So, yeah, the Black Star Dragon Balls get sent to across the galaxy, or universe, as they dub in Japanese the Japanese and English versions kind of said different dialogue, and it's up to Trunks, Goku, and originally Goten, but then Pan took over the ship to journey across the stars and find them. Now, okay, the concept of the Black Star Dragon Balls, that's a good idea. They just had to explain everything about this to build things up right. And killing off Goku would have been a better idea, and they really should have taken into account that, wait, why don't you just get the Namekian Dragon Balls? Like, you could explain that, well, the Namekian Dragon Balls can't wish the Black Star Dragon Balls because they're too powerful. Like, that could be a good explanation, but since they never did that route, then you could open that up. And then you could also bring back Goku if you wanted to. Or, like, while Goten, Trunks, and Pan are across the stars, they go ahead and look for the Black Star Dragon Balls. Meanwhile, everyone on Earth is focusing on fighting the original Dragon Balls, since they have not been forgotten, since they wouldn't reappear until the end, to the near end game of the series, and go ahead and do that and search for it to revive Goku. And okay, the truffle being an antagonist, like bringing back the truffles since they were wiped out by the sands, is an interesting concept. Like the character Baby, I probably would have came up with a better name than Baby, um, whose main program is to destroy the sand race. And this ability to invade other people's bodies and turn them into truffles, as well using a body to combine it with his own power and become a fighter. And yeah, that was interesting concepts. Like, especially him trying to control Vegeta. Like, Goku would be dead in this theorized version. Like, I'm probably borrowing a lot from Masako X, but I'm trying to add my own spin to things and also offer my opinion on the show. So, the second most powerful fighter would obviously be Vegeta, since he would still train just like Goku would. And Goku achieving Super Saiyan 4, okay, when I saw that, I was like, okay, that is cool. And, like, it's still cool, but I also think, um, shouldn't Super Saiyan 4 be more dangerous when Super Saiyan 3 happened? Because when Super Saiyan 3 happened, the Earth shook, the world just collapsed in on itself to an extent, and Super Saiyan 4 turns into a mighty ape, a golden one, I must add, and transformed back into a Super Saiyan 4, a much older version of a re-aged Goku, which begs the question: why didn't you just kill Goku and not turn him into a kid? Because this looks like it didn't need to happen. So like Piccolo, like here's the one other major flaw that happened is that Pan and Goku seem to be the most focused. Like the other characters, like I get like Goku was Goku, Gohan, and Krillin seemed like the most focused in Dragon Ball Z, and then afterwards it was just Goku and Vegeta, and then Gohan for a bit, and then went back to Goku and Vegeta. But the side characters always had at least had something to do instead of doing nothing. Like initially it looked like they're doing something. They build the spaceship and just then afterward they're pretty much enslaved. So yeah, that doesn't really help their case. And Piccolo, he shows up, says, "Hey, we got this problem," and then disappears, and then comes back in and then kills himself, sacrificing himself to turn the Black Star Dragon Balls into stone permanently when the Earth explodes after Goku and the others helped everyone evacuate to the Truffle Planet, Plant. Okay, I gotta be honest, that is such a stupid name. But it was named that in the show in Dragon Ball Z, so at least I kept that in. So then, like, we get a little bit later an Oob, which I'm still saying, like, why did you call him that? Like, could you come up with something else for his name? Like, he could still be the reincarnation of Majin Buu, the evil Kid Buu, but still, could you come up with a much better name than Oob? It just sounds weird. So, anyways, a lot of people also, Masako X especially, talked about the Super 17 saga where they go ahead and let's see, go through this whole problem where Dr. Gero and Dr. Mew uh, work together to create a replica of Android 17, a hybrid android with mutant abilities called Hellfighter 17, and have it fused with the original 17 to create Super 17. They claimed it was for nostalgic purposes to bring back fan service and then bring back all the villains, though not really giving them much of a big role. Like, they show up, then get killed, then go back. Which really would have been interesting if they brought back Frieza and Cell. Like, they were still stuck in hell for some reason. They didn't go with the other villains. They would have really... It would have been interesting to see Frieza fight Goku on Earth and Cell to try to get revenge on Gohan. Like, that would have been interesting. Or maybe Pan being threatened by Cell, since Cell knows if he kills Pan, he's getting back at Gohan. That would have been interesting. And also, back to Pan. Okay, considering what she went through this entire series, I'm trying to wonder, why did she not go Super Saiyan? Like, usually, Like, Goten and Trunks, the younger Trunks, managed to become Super Saiyans without the traumatic events that need to happen in order to have it occur. But, like, for Masako X, when I watched his discussion videos, he had said that, that they said that Pan and Bra, or Bola, from the dub version, do have the potential to go Super Saiyan, and they hint when the evilest of dangers arrive, and I'm like, why did that not happen? Like, the evilest of dangers arrived, and you didn't do it. Like, it would have been interesting, like the first female Saiyans, Super Saiyans. But now we got that with female Broly, and let me go on a tangent for a second. Like, I really hope that character has something that makes them stand out from the original, from Broly, or else people will just look at her and say, oh, she's just female Broly. So, yeah, I'm hoping that they really, really work with that in the Universe Survival arc in Super. So, yeah, it would have been interesting if they did subplots with the Super 17 saga with all the fighters coming back. Like, a lot of them trying to get revenge on the former Z fighters. Like, they showed Android 18 and Krillin, mostly Android 18. Krillin got killed off. And Super 17 is controlled by the original Android 17. And I'm also trying to wonder, why didn't he show up at all? Like, he just pops in out of nowhere. And in America, they never showed him again after Cell. So, yeah. I was like, wait, where did he come from? I thought he was dead. And then I found out years later that, oh, he came back, was revived. So, yeah, he became a park ranger. But they never explained why was he never shown up again. Like, they never talked about him ever again. So, yeah, you could have just kept him in hell and just found another way to create Super 17. So, also, Goku defeats Super 17 with a Dragon Fist technique, courtesy of the Wrath of the Dragon saga. Yeah, I believe so. I'm looking at my movies. Yeah. But anyways, since I have all the movies, but like, there was something when I saw that. Like, I saw that in the movies, and when I was young, I assumed the movies were part of the same universe as the main storyline. Like, some of them can be wedged in there, some cannot, for certain reasons. And I might go down later down the road with them when I talk about the movies later down the road, but some can be put in and some cannot. So you can, I'll just go with that. But they put in a lot, but they put in some movie references in there, like the return of Gogeta from Fusion Reborn and the Dragon Fist technique. And that really was interesting. But the most interesting concept that I loved the most was the final antagonists being the Dragon Balls. Like because they, like, I believe they explained it. I don't remember, but I had to read a Wikipedia article to remind me that the Dragon Balls used to be that every time when a wish was used, it became corrupted. Its power was being leaked with darkness by the energy consumed by humanity. But back then, they managed to have time to expel all the darkness in it. However, as technology grew and grew and grew, and humans started to find the Dragon Balls more and more quicker after every year, it started the dark energy started to compact and build up, and then it eventually explodes, creating the Shadow Dragons when they are used one more time after the Super 17 saga. But let's see, some of the characters were like comic relief at times. Considering how they're supposed to embody the darkness of humanity abusing the Dragon Balls for gain. Like, yeah, the Z Fighters have used it for good, but how many people have used it for evil? Like, Bulma explained in the original Dragon Ball that someone used it to rule the world for a while. Who's to say that there was more harm done to it than good? Like the Z Fighters, they had the most knowledge of it, and they eventually did forgotten in the annals of time to a lot of people, but still. But eventually, they go ahead and start to ravage the Earth, what's left of it after the Super 17 saga. And Omega Shenron, or Shin Shenron, was honestly the only Shadow Dragon I actually took seriously. Like the rest, I just couldn't. I believe I missed an episode where they killed one of them off. I think it was the one where Pan looked like she was going to get killed off in this episode, according to the previews of the next episode. I never saw that episode. I never did to this day. But I did find out later that, oh, she survived. And that was one thing, like, with the exception of Krillin and the villains, who really died? No one. Not a lot of people really died. Not a lot of the good guys died in the show. Like, you had to have some form of tension. Like, the villains in space were lackluster. Like, they could have been made stronger characters, the strongest of their planets. But when you have three short guys dancing around when they have a Dragon Ball, especially one of the Black Star Balls, and they just dance around for some reason, yeah, I'm going to question that. Like, you just can't take them seriously. And that was one of the problems with the show. You couldn't take it seriously as much. Like when they started to do the seriousness, but because they over relied on the humor so much, you just couldn't take it seriously. It just comes out of left field at times. So, Goku with Vegeta using Super Saiyan 4 thanks to Bulma's new device, thanks to technology. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Vegeta. Yeah, when I look at Vegeta, I think that's a little out of character. Like, I would think Vegeta would try and earn that, not just be handed it. He would earn it. He would work hard to earn it. Try to discover the secrets or try to find his own way to become Super Saiyan 4. That would have made more sense to me, but yeah, it's a device that somehow the Blutz wave generator. Like, okay. Anyways, so Goku eventually defeats Omega Shenron with the Universal Spirit Bomb from like it says, every living being in the universe. After Omega Shenron is destroyed, the real Shenron appears to grant Goku and his friends one last wish, and then we get this emotional final farewell after he revives everybody, and and then proceeds to leave with Goku and the Dragon Balls for good, or at least for a long time. And, well, it was such an emotional send-off, considering how Goku's descendants, such as Pan, who's still alive in 100 years later, and Goku Jr. are shown in the World Tournament, and Pan cheers for her, and then Vegeta Jr. shows up, and then there's girl that resembles Bulma, like hinting that the families kind of went distant with each other since they don't remember each other, which confuses me. But anyways, Goku is seen all grown up again and disappears into the crowd. Goku then leaves the World Tournament with a huge flashback of his time. After the flashback of his time ended, Goku then catches his power pole, which only further shows them just the issue with the whole let's use the Dragon Ball original series as the main formula, and rides off into the Nimbus Cloud saying, "Till we meet again." And I thought that last sequence overall, that was the perfect way to end everything. Like, that would have been the perfect way to end the franchise. Like, the series should have been a lot better, but yeah, there was a lot of good ideas here, and especially a lot of good moments. This was the perfect moment. You could have capped off the feather and called it a franchise. Like, I know it's next to impossible to end a franchise so easily. Like, it can be done, but, corporations like to milk it as much as they can. So, yeah. So, yeah, I always felt like it has problems, but considering how Dragon Ball GT ended, it kind of feels right. So I was ultimately satisfied with the show to an extent, but the concepts are good ideas. They should have been tweaked or revised. And the reason why I can't hate the Super 17 saga, like I said, like a lot, like some people say, like due to the overabundance of the nostalgia of the past, and how it doesn't make sense how the bad guys can still keep their physical bodies in hell, or the other name they gave it, I don't remember. I saw the anime filler of when Cell and Frieza were trying to take over Hell, so that didn't bother me as much. But the reason why I don't have much of a problem with it when Masako said it was the fan service that was cause the fan service and plot holes were happening. The reason why I don't hate it as much as like probably some people is because, well, when I think of fan service, I think of giving the fans what they want, and when Japan, however, thinks of fan service, a lot of them tend to think other things. Yeah, I don't feel like going into that, like, at all. I might talk about it in a video one day, but no. Just no. And that's one thing I'll give Dragon Ball respect for. They didn't use fan service a lot. Like, initially, they did some fan service like that, but not at the extent that is done now. Man. There was one more Dragon Ball special for GT to end to like hint at a future legacy called A Hero's Legacy with Goku Jr. So it involves Goku Jr. looking for the Dragon Balls since Pan got sick, so that shows that the Dragon Balls are back. And when Grandpa Gohan's house is sown in ruins, like, did they leave that place? Like, and where's the house? Like, I'm pretty sure I recall the house of Chi Chi and Goku being right next to it. Did they? Was it a capsule house and they just moved it, or was it gone or evicted? But Grandpa Gohan's house is still there. It's just eroded over time after 100 years. So yeah, then the original Goku shows up and, well, he caps things off, and like I just felt like the thing was just solved through some form of Deus Ex Machina. Like Goku says that, well, it was your heart that saved them. The two characters, like Pan and that boy, I don't remember. But like I was thinking, like, okay, that's kind of a cop out. Like, could he have like? Couldn't they have done like a mini series to search for the Dragon Balls? For him to search for the Dragon Balls and then summon Shenron? Like, that would have made a little bit more sense, but ultimately, I felt like A Hero's Legacy was a good way to like foretold a future legacies after this. Like, even though the franchise is over, the story's done, its legacy will forever live on. Like, I thought that was the message they were trying to do. And, well, like I said, like GT, it had a lot of good ideas, but it was several things held it back. The over reliance on the humor and the old era Dragon Ball series. Less focus on the side characters like Gohan, Vegeta, and the other Tien, Yamcha, Master Roshi, the characters we grew to love, and Krillin especially. Um, the poor directions that it sometimes got. And I kind of sometimes like to think that if Toriyama did decide to oversee this project, the series probably could have been done a lot better. Like, we won't know. We won't ever know. So, and for a long time, this was considered the quote official canon. Like, a lot of people wanted to dispute it. But like, I was like, this is canon to me, at least. Like, I can respect it that they tried and they actually cared, unlike certain piece of shit reboot Star Wars series. Oh, God. I'm still waiting for that huge leap of faith to justify the reboot. But that's a completely different topic. So, yeah. If they had not had those issues, Dragon Ball GT probably would have been a much better series and a better way to end the franchise. And even then, fans still wanted more Dragon Ball. Like, there was Dragon Ball AF going around. I don't recall. Like, I saw it once, an advertisement when I was on a site. I just assumed it was fake, and I instantly knew it was fake. Like, I thought, oh, like, it would be cool if Dragon Ball came back. I'm like, even though GT kind of capped it off to an extent, like, it should have done a lot better, but still, it should, at least it capped off to at least a good ending. But the part where they go ahead and say, oh, there might be another series, a fourth series, I was like, what's more left to tell? Like, the Dragon Balls being the last antagonist kind of was the perfect send-off. So, I really don't know how much you could tell afterwards. Especially after you bring back all the freaking villains and kill them off so easily. Like, you would think there would be at least be a challenge. So, yeah, like Dragon Ball AF, like, I thought, yeah, that's fake. Like, like, it's an internet ad, I don't believe it. Like, a lot of internet ads are fake and try to trick you. And, well, we all know how that turns out for people. Man. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on Dragon Ball GT and what it could have been. So, those were my thoughts. This was Neo Reality Entertainment. So, if you like, comment, subscribe, and donate, stay tuned for more.